City TV. My guest today, Christine Macdonald, was diagnosed with a skin disease at the tender age of just 14. By 19, she was exotic dancing, and by 21, she had a full-blown drug addiction. 20 years later, with many life lessons learned along the way, she courageously takes ownership of her past and is here to share some of the stories she has learned along the way. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here.
So there's so many different parts to your story. Where do you think it really all began for you?
I would say at age 13 is when it all, 13 is sort of my magic number. I had some significant life-changing moments at 13 when I was in high school off at camp and was sexually abused by one of my schoolmates.
How do you think that affected you?
Well, it's interesting because for a while I took it as validation that meant I was pretty because I had suffered so many afflictions with my skin disease that for me, even though he took advantage of me at the time, I thought it meant that I was pretty. So I was just very off with that, and it took a long while to realize that it was rape.
Your skin issues started at about 14. Can you explain in layman terms what exactly was happening there?
Yes, it's called acne vulgaris, and everyone's familiar with acne as a teenager. Most people, 90% of the world gets it.
And hates it.
Yeah, but there's 4 stages of it. Stage 1 and stage 2 are the most common. Stage 3, you're going to need to see a dermatologist. Stage 4, you definitely need to see a dermatologist, probably a surgeon afterwards, because what happens with stage 4 is you develop cystic acne all over your face, chest, back, and then some other parts of your body. And
I mean, as a 14-year-old girl, how was that impacting you at that age in your life?
Oh, I wanted to kill myself. Yeah, I mean, it was like I was the elephant woman. I started skipping school. I started, the drugs and the drinking just escalated because I was in so much pain.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this age, obviously, all of it being raped, then having all of these skin issues, how do you feel it changed the course or the direction of your life?
The drugs had a lot to do with it, and my view on men in general, thinking that that's what they wanted, and that's what I was going to give them. So, when I was 19, I graduated high school, 17, 18, and as soon as I left high school, I was on my own and living in Waikiki, and was, showing off my body in a bikini, and was approached to do a wet t-shirt contest, amateur night, and I thought, oh, perfect. I can't believe somebody's approaching me. That must mean I'm pretty. So that night turned into a 9-year career of stripping. So, because for the first time I felt pretty on stage. People were giving me money for how I looked.
When did it start to turn into something that you weren't happy to be doing?
From the late 80s, segueing into the 90s is when it started to take a little bit of a toll. A lot of it had to do with the drugs, a lot of cocaine, ecstasy for 5 years straight, almost every night. When you're in the bubble of being a stripper, you kind of feel like a little bit of a rock star, especially in Waikiki because it's such a small place.
You had a lot of destructive relationships as well. I remember reading in one of your excerpts from the book that he would make you walk behind him.
Oh, Robert, the drug dealer. Yes.
So he didn't want to be seen with you.
He told me.
What part of you allowed that to be okay, allowed you to be treated like that?
Because that was all that I knew. With the verbal abuse and the bullying in high school, I met Robert when I was 17. He was 27, a bouncer at a club. It was a one-night stand, and he saw a meal ticket because I had just gotten my own apartment, and he was dealing drugs and needed a place to crash. So he moved in, and of course, in my mind, we're living together. He's my boyfriend. That wasn't the case.
In reading your story, it struck me that you pretty much lost your whole 20s in either stripping or drugging. What do you feel you missed out on?
College experience. I think about that. I've just thought about that most recently because my niece just graduated college.
And it's kind of an irony because statistically a lot of the women who strip, they do it to fund their college.
Yes, that's the big rumor. Yeah.
What's the truth about that for most of the girls? How does it impact them?
It's a dirty secret. It is a dirty secret. As an adult now, in my 40s, I have my website and I'm very public about my journey, and I want to speak to anyone who's even considering that life, or, I don't judge it, but I'm just thinking there might be another road for you.
So there's a lot of young women out there that would be in a similar situation that don't know what healthy, functioning love and relationships are like. How did you start to learn that you deserved more?
That's a good question. Believing in myself took getting myself out of the stripping world and getting off the drugs and really doing the dirty work, getting to the nitty-gritty of why I make the choices that I make. And I think part of it comes with age. A lot of it has to do with therapy and just being truthful with who you are.
So when did you make the decision that you needed to leave this industry?
Well, I talk about that actually in the last chapter in the book that I'm writing, and that actually just got published in an anthology called The Moment. And basically it's a collection of stories that talks about life-changing moments. And that was my life-changing moment. Went to work, completely burnt out, hungover, took out my makeup bag, had my cocktail, sitting in the dressing room, and I just remember hearing all the girls behind me and the clickety-clack of their heels, and I just remember thinking, oh, just be quiet, it was just too much. Just a little buzz of all the women. And I started putting my makeup on, and I looked in the mirror at my eyes, and I just didn't see. It was just gray. There was no blue, there was no sparkle. It was just dull, tired. And as soon as I connected with that, the dressing room door opened, and a girl, probably 19, brand new, came in, starry eyes, and I just saw myself in her. And I said, oh, I think you're done. I just connected. It was about 10 years. I was done. So I took my stuff, and I walked out.
What would you say to your 14-year-old self now? What does she need to hear?
Hang in there.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Does it get better? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And believe that you're pretty and you're worthy. I had such an off-kiltered idea of what being beautiful was.
So what do you say? I mean, in society today, women feel defined by their beauty and the media. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for young girls?
Don't compare yourself to anybody. I mean, seriously, it's just, it's compared to what? There's no comparison. There's only one you. Yeah. And make the best of it that you can. And it's so trite to say it's from the inside out, but it really is. Yeah. Happiness is a byproduct of, beauty is a byproduct of treating yourself well.
What have you found out about yourself that you like now that you didn't know was there?
That I'm brave. To go through what I've gone through and to be honest about it and to live in my truth. I'm proud of myself.
What have you had to do to rebuild your self-esteem?
I'm still rebuilding.
I love how honest you are about the journey.
Such a work in progress. I should have orange cones for earrings. It's taken a long time to get where I am, but I feel like I have a long way to go. I mean, it's all, to me, it's in the choices that you make for yourself, and it's if you choose something that is not healthy for you. If I pick a partner that's sort of a bad boy or something, because I've always been attracted to those, is that really going to help me? No.
Will you ever walk behind another man again?
No.
Never?
Never.
Yeah. Well, I know that if you're going through self-esteem issues, that Christine's story would have really helped. I hope that you understand that it's inner beauty that lasts a lifetime, and really think about what you need to do to build your self-esteem and move forward. We look forward to seeing you next week on Kirsty TV.